Lisa Kane stood in the middle of the huge space station room. The ceiling was so high she could barely see the top. Around her sat creatures from 47 different worlds. Some looked like giant insects. Others looked like walking crystals. A few looked almost like humans, but with different colored skin and strange eyes. Lisa was nervous, but she tried not to show it. She was here to speak for all humans on Earth. The aliens called this place the Galactic Council. They made decisions about which species could join their group. Earth wanted to join very badly. The crystal being named Kethmer stood up. When it spoke, a machine changed its words into English, so Lisa could understand. "We have a problem with your species," it said. "We have studied humans for many months. Something about you worries us." Lisa looked at the two other humans with her. Captain Ryan Brooks was a soldier. He was tall and strong and always stood very straight. Dr. Amanda White was a scientist who studied alien life. She was smart and knew a lot about different species. "What worries you about us?" Lisa asked. Kethmer's body flashed different colors. This meant it was thinking hard. Every species in this council has predators. Animals that hunt them. Animals that make them afraid. These predators shaped how we grew and changed over millions of years. A bug-like creature with many arms spoke up. Its name was Zarathul. The Vorthic people fear the shadow hunters on their world. These creatures can turn invisible and have claws like swords. The Kelani people still have nightmares about sky serpents that could swallow them whole. The Zephyrians like me had to learn to live with crystal eaters, Kethmer added. Giant worms that could break through our hardest shells. Every species here has stories of the creatures that hunted them. Lisa began to understand what they were asking. "You want to know what hunted humans?" "Yes," said another alien. "This one looked like a walking tree with eyes. But when we studied your world, we found something strange. You claim you have no predators. This is impossible. Every world has apex predators. Every species has something that hunts them." Ryan stepped forward. He was used to difficult questions. "We had predators. We just dealt with them." "Dealt with them how?" Kethmer asked. Lisa turned on a small device that made pictures appear in the air. She showed Earth as it was long ago. 10,000 years ago, giant cats with long teeth hunted our people. They were called saber-toothed cats. They were bigger and stronger than humans. The aliens leaned forward to look at the pictures. They saw ancient humans hiding in caves, while huge cats prowled outside. "Where are these cats now?" asked Zarathul. "Dead," Ryan said simply. "All of them. The last one died thousands of years ago." The room became very quiet. Lisa continued her presentation. 5,000 years ago, wolves hunted us. They were smart and worked together in packs. They could track us for days. "And these wolves?" Kethmer asked, though it seemed to already know the answer. "Some are dead. Others we changed. We made them into dogs. They help us now instead of hunting us." Amanda spoke for the first time. 3,000 years ago, bears were our biggest threat. They were huge and strong. A single bear could kill many humans. "Let me guess," said the tree-like alien. "You killed them all too?" "Not all," Lisa said. "But we moved them far away from where we live. We made rules about where they could go. We control them now." The aliens began talking to each other in their own languages. The translation machines could not keep up with all the different voices. Lisa could tell they were upset about something. A new alien spoke up. It looked like a giant slug with tentacles. "You are saying that humans eliminated their predators?" "Yes," Lisa said. "When something threatened us, we found ways to stop it. But this is not natural," Zarathul said. Its many arms waved in the air. Predators and prey exist together. They balance each other. The predator keeps the prey from growing too numerous. The prey feeds the predator. This is how nature works. Ryan crossed his arms. That might be how nature works on your worlds. On Earth, we decided we did not want to be prey anymore. But how? Asked a small, round alien. You have no natural weapons, no claws or teeth, no poison or armor. How did weak creatures like humans defeat apex predators? Amanda smiled. We used tools. We worked together, we planned. She showed more pictures. Ancient humans with sharp sticks surrounding a mammoth. The mammoth was 10 times bigger than any. Human, but 20 humans with spears and fire could bring it down. We learned that being weak individually did not matter if we were strong as a group, Amanda explained. 1 human cannot fight a bear, but 10 humans with the right tools can. The aliens stared at the pictures. They saw humans making better and better weapons. First stone knives, then metal swords, then guns, then machines that could kill from very far away. You turned yourselves into better predators, Kethmer said slowly. We became the best predators, Ryan corrected. We did not adapt to our environment. We made our environment adapt to us. Lisa could see that the aliens were starting to understand something that scared them. She had come here hoping to make friends. Instead, she was teaching them that humans were something they had never encountered before. We need time to think about this, Zarathul said. This council will meet again tomorrow. We have many questions. As the aliens filed out of the room, Lisa heard them talking quietly among themselves. She caught a few words through the translation machine. Dangerous. Unnatural. Threat. Lisa, Ryan, and Amanda were left alone in the huge room. That could have gone better, Ryan said. They are afraid of us, Amanda observed. They see us as something outside the natural order. Lisa nodded. The question is, will fear make them reject us, or will it make them accept us? None of them had an answer. They would have to wait until tomorrow to find out what the galaxy thought of humanity. 3 days had passed since the meeting. Lisa Kane had barely slept. She kept thinking about the way the aliens had looked at her and her team. Fear and curiosity mixed together in their strange eyes. This morning, Kethmer had sent a message. The council wanted to see humans in action. They wanted proof of what humans could really do. Now Lisa stood in a different room on the space station. This one had thick glass walls that looked down into a large chamber below. The chamber was filled with what looked like a jungle from another world. Strange plants with purple leaves grew everywhere. The air shimmered with heat and moisture. This is our testing facility, explained Dr. Yiltar, a Vorthic scientist. The Vorthic looked like tall, thin people, but with gray skin and large black eyes. We use it to study how different species handle threats. Amanda White stood next to Lisa, watching as technicians prepared the test below. What kind of test? We will put one of your soldiers in the chamber, Yiltar said. He will face a shadow hunter. This is the apex predator from our world. It has hunted my people for millions of years. Ryan Brooks was not in the observation room. He was down in the chamber, getting ready for the test. The council had chosen Marine Sergeant Jake Miller instead. Jake was younger than Ryan, but just as skilled. He was calm and focused as he checked his equipment. Your soldier looks very small, observed another Vorthic. Shadow hunters are 3 meters tall. They have claws that can cut through steel. They can become invisible. They move without making any sound. How do your people survive against such creatures? Lisa asked. We live underground. We have developed special hearing that can detect their heartbeat. We can smell their scent from far away. We evolved to hide from them. Amanda nodded. You adapted to avoid your predator. Yes, for millions of years we have run and hidden. It is the only way to survive. Down in the chamber, Jake was doing something strange. He was not hiding. Instead, he was walking around the jungle, looking at everything carefully. He touched plants and trees. He picked up rocks and pieces of wood. "What is he doing?" Yultar asked. "The Shadow Hunter will be released soon. He should find a place to hide." "He is learning," Lisa said. "He is studying the environment." But there is no time. The Shadow Hunter, a sound like breaking glass, echoed through the chamber. The Shadow Hunter had been released. Lisa could not see it, but she knew it was there. The creature was completely invisible, just like the Vorthik had said. Jake stopped moving. He stood very still in the middle of a small clearing. The alien observers leaned forward, watching carefully. "He cannot see it," one of them whispered. "How will he know where it is?" Jake suddenly started moving again, but he was not running or hiding. He was breaking things. He snapped branches off trees. He scattered leaves everywhere. He kicked rocks and made loud noises. "He has gone crazy," Yultar said. "The fear has broken his mind." Amanda smiled. "No, watch carefully." Jake continued to destroy parts of the jungle. He was systematic about it. He broke the branches that hung low. He cleared away the thick bushes where something could hide. He made the ground rough and uneven. "He is changing the environment," Lisa explained. "The Shadow Hunter was designed to hunt in a specific type of place. Jake is making sure that place no longer exists." A movement in the air caught everyone's attention. Something invisible had disturbed the leaves Jake had scattered. The Shadow Hunter was moving, but now its steps made small sounds as it walked on the broken twigs and rocks. Jake heard the sound immediately. He turned toward it and threw a handful of dirt and leaves in that direction. The dirt stuck to something invisible, making the outline of a huge creature visible. The Shadow Hunter became visible, probably confused by this new situation. It was terrifying to look at. Its body was long and thin with too many joints. Its claws were like curved swords. Its eyes were completely black, but Jake did not seem afraid. He had prepared for this moment. In his hands, he held a device that looked like a gun, but shot a net instead of bullets. The net was made of strong metal wires. The Shadow Hunter leaped at Jake with incredible speed, but Jake was ready. He had positioned himself next to a tree he had partially cut down. As the creature jumped, Jake pushed the tree over. The Shadow Hunter crashed into the fallen tree and became tangled in the branches. While the creature struggled to get free, Jake shot his net. The metal wires wrapped around the Shadow Hunter, trapping it completely. Then Jake activated something on his belt. The net began to glow, and the Shadow Hunter stopped moving. "Electric shock," Amanda explained to the amazed aliens. "Not enough to kill it, but enough to make it unconscious." The test was over. Jake had defeated the apex predator of the Vorthik homeworld in less than 10 minutes. The observation room was completely silent. The aliens stared down at the unconscious Shadow Hunter and the human who had captured it. "This is impossible," Yultar whispered. "Shadow Hunters cannot be defeated in direct combat. They are too fast, too strong, too skilled." Jake did not fight it directly, Lisa pointed out. He changed the rules of the fight. But how did he know to do this? "Your species has never encountered a Shadow Hunter before." Amanda pulled up information on her tablet. "But we have encountered similar creatures. On Earth, we had animals that hunted by stealth, panthers that could move silently through forests, wolves that could track prey for days without being seen. And you defeated all of them? We learned their weaknesses. Every predator has advantages, but advantages can become disadvantages if you change the situation." Ryan's voice came through the communication system. He was down in the chamber now, helping. "Jake, the Shadow Hunter is designed to hunt in dense forest where it can hide. Take away the hiding places, and it becomes just another animal. The aliens continued to stare. One of them, a creature that looked like a walking flower, spoke up. On my world, we have sky serpents. They are huge and can fly. They hunt from above. How would humans defeat such creatures? We would probably attack them on the ground, Lisa said. All flying creatures have to land sometime. We would find where they rest and attack them there. And if they are too strong to fight on the ground, then we would make weapons that could reach them in the sky. We would study their flight patterns and find ways to predict where they would be. Another alien asked, "What about the crystal eaters that hunt the Zephyrians? They can break through the hardest materials. We would find materials they could not break. Or we would find ways to make them not want to break through. Maybe we would give them something else to eat." The questions continued for another hour. Each alien species described their most feared predator. Each time, the humans had ideas for how to defeat it. Finally, Kefmer spoke up. "You have an answer for everything. Every predator we describe, you have a way to defeat it." Not defeat. Amanda corrected. Eliminate. When humans decide something is a threat, we do not just defend against it. We remove it completely. But what if you cannot remove it? Then we find a way to control it. We make it work for us instead of against us. Lisa could see that the aliens were beginning to understand something important about humans. They were not just another species that had evolved to survive. They were a species that had evolved to dominate. "We need to discuss this among ourselves," Zarathil said. "This changes everything we thought we knew about the natural order." As the aliens filed out of the observation room, Lisa heard them talking in worried voices. They were not just discussing humans anymore. They were discussing what humans meant for the future of the galaxy. Lisa, Amanda, and Ryan were left alone. "Again, they are more afraid now than they were before," Amanda observed. "Good," Ryan said. "Fear means respect. And respect means they will take us seriously." Lisa was not sure if this was a good thing or a bad thing. But she knew that there was no going back now. The galaxy had seen what humans could do. The question was, what would they do with that knowledge? The news of what happened in the testing chamber spread quickly through the space station. Within hours, every alien species was talking about the human who had defeated a shadow hunter. By the next day, emergency meetings were being held on dozens of worlds. Lisa Kane found herself in the biggest meeting room she had ever seen. It was so large that the far walls disappeared into shadows. Representatives from every known species in the galaxy had come. Some had traveled for days to get here. Commander Alex Morgan had arrived from Earth with a full military escort. He was older than Ryan, with gray hair and serious eyes. He had fought in many wars and knew how to talk to people who saw him as a threat. "We have questions," announced the Kelani representative. The Kelani looked like large birds with colorful feathers and intelligent eyes. "Many questions about your species and your intentions." Alex stood at the center of the room, surrounded by hundreds of alien beings. "I am here to answer whatever you want to know." A creature that looked like a giant mantis spoke first. "You have shown that you can defeat our predators. Our predators that we have feared for millions of years. How is this possible?" "Evolution," said Dr. Carl Bennett, a new arrival from Earth. He was a scientist who studied how species changed over time, but not the kind of evolution you experienced. "Explain," demanded Kefmer. Carl activated a holographic display that showed different worlds and their creatures. Every species here adapted to their predators. You grew stronger, faster, or developed better senses. You learned to hide or run away. You became better prey. The aliens muttered among themselves. Some seemed offended by being called prey. Humans chose a different path, Carl continued. Instead of adapting to our predators, we adapted to eliminate them. But this is not natural, protested the Vorthic delegate. Predators and prey must exist together. It is the balance of nature. Human nature works differently, Alex said. We do not seek balance with threats. We seek to remove threats entirely. The holographic display changed to show Earth's history. The aliens saw images of ancient humans hunting huge animals. Mammoths, giant bears, saber-toothed cats. All of them were much bigger and stronger than humans. Your ancestors were weak, observed a slug-like creature. How did they defeat such powerful beasts? They worked together, Carl explained. One human could not kill a mammoth, but 50 humans with spears and fire could. You used tools, said another alien. We became tools, Alex corrected. We turned ourselves into weapons specifically designed to kill whatever threatened us. The display showed how human tools had evolved over time. Stone knives became metal swords. Bows became guns. Simple traps became complex machines. But there is something else, Carl added. Something that makes humans different from every other species we have studied. The room became very quiet. Everyone was listening carefully. Humans do not just eliminate external threats, Carl said. We also eliminate internal threats. We compete against each other constantly. What do you mean? Asked Zara Thul. Alex took over the explanation. While you were evolving to survive, your predators, we were evolving to defeat other humans. We have been at war with ourselves for thousands of years. The holographic display showed human history. Wars between tribes, between nations, between continents. The aliens watched in fascination and horror as humans fought each other with increasing sophistication. You fight your own species? Asked the Kelani representative. Constantly, Alex said. We compete for resources, territory, and survival. This competition made us better at everything. But why would you fight each other instead of working together? We do both, Carl explained. We work together against external threats, but we compete against each other for advantage. This creates a cycle of improvement. The display showed how human weapons had improved because of war, how human technology had advanced because of competition, how human society had become more complex because of conflict. Every war taught us something new, Alex said. Every conflict made us stronger. We did not just eliminate external predators. We became predators of each other. A new voice spoke up. It belonged to a creature that looked like a walking crystal formation. You are saying that humans are their own apex predators? Yes, Alex confirmed. We evolved to be the most dangerous thing on our planet, even to ourselves. The implications of this statement rippled through the room. The aliens began to understand something terrifying. While they had spent millions of years learning to hide from their predators, humans had spent thousands of years learning to be better predators. This explains the test results, Iltar said quietly. Your soldier did not just defeat our shadow hunter. He treated it like he would treat another human enemy. Exactly, Alex said. We approach every threat the same way. We study it. We find its weaknesses, and we eliminate it completely. But what happens when there are no more threats to eliminate? Ask the tree-like alien. We find new ones, Carl said. Or we create them. Humans need challenges to drive our development. The room erupted in concerned chatter. The aliens were realizing that humans were not just another species seeking membership. In their peaceful council, they were a species that had evolved for war and conquest. You are dangerous, stated the mantis-like creature bluntly. Yes, Alex agreed. We are very dangerous. But dangerous to whom depends on the situation. What do you mean? We are dangerous to threats, Alex explained. If you are not a threat, to us, we have no reason to eliminate you. But how do we know you will not see us as threats? Because we are here asking to join your council instead of conquering your worlds, Lisa said, speaking for the first time in hours. We want to be partners, not enemies. But if you change your minds, then you will have the same problem our predators had, Alex said honestly. You will need to either adapt or be eliminated. The silence that followed was heavy and uncomfortable. The aliens were processing the reality of what humans represented. Finally, a small, furry creature spoke up. What about the species that refuse to accept human membership? What about those who see you as too dangerous to allow in the galaxy? Alex's expression became cold. That would be their choice. But they should remember that we did not come here to ask permission to exist. We came here to offer partnership. And if partnership is refused, then we will continue to exist without it, Alex said. We survived and thrived on our own world. We can do the same among the stars. The threat was not stated directly, but everyone understood it. Humans did not need the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council needed to decide if they wanted humans as allies or as something else. We need time to discuss this, Kefmer announced. This council will recess for 3 days. We must consult with our home governments. As the aliens filed out, Lisa could hear fragments of their conversations. Some were talking about the need to accept humans before they became enemies. Others were discussing the possibility of uniting against the human threat. Alex, Lisa, and Carl were left, alone in the enormous room. That went about as well as expected, Alex said. They are terrified of us, Lisa observed. They should be, Carl said. We are exactly what they think we are. The question is whether they are smart enough to choose cooperation over conflict. And if they choose conflict? Lisa asked. Alex smiled grimly. Then they will learn why humans call their predators previous versions of themselves. The next 3 days would determine the future of human-alien relations, and possibly the future of the galaxy itself. The 3 days of waiting had felt like 3 years. Lisa Kane paced in her quarters on the space station, unable to sleep or eat properly. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy. Some species were demanding that humans be rejected from the Council. Others were arguing that humans should be accepted but closely watched. The most disturbing news came from Alex Morgan's intelligence sources. Several species had formed what they called the Resistance Coalition. They believed humans were too dangerous to exist and should be eliminated before they could spread across the galaxy. Now, Lisa stood once again in the great council chamber. But this time, the atmosphere was different. The aliens were more nervous, more afraid. Some had brought guards with them. Others had moved their seats further away from where the humans stood. Admiral Kate Sullivan had arrived from Earth night before. She was the highest-ranking military officer in the human fleet. She was known for her calm demeanor and strategic mind. If things went badly, she would be the one to plan humanity's response. The Council has reached a decision, Kefmer announced. The crystal being's light patterns showed stress and uncertainty. But first, we have more questions. Kate stepped forward. Ask whatever you need to ask. A new alien spoke up, one that Lisa had not seen before. It looked like a collection of floating spheres held together by energy fields. We have studied your history more carefully. We found something disturbing. What did you find? Kate asked. You do not just eliminate threats. You eliminate anything that competes with you. Other human groups, other species on your planet, even your own environment. When it becomes inconvenient. Kate nodded. That is correct. You destroyed your own planet's climate. You made hundreds of species extinct. You even killed other types of humans that existed long ago. We did what was necessary to survive and thrive, Kate said without emotion. But those other humans were not threats to you. They were just different. Different can become threatening, Kate explained. We eliminated potential future threats, along with current ones. The aliens exchanged worried glances. This was exactly what they had feared. "So you admit that you eliminate things that are not even threats yet?" asked the Kelani representative. "We eliminate things that could become threats," Kate corrected. "It is more efficient than waiting for them to actually threaten us. This is exactly why we cannot allow you into the galaxy," declared the mantis-like creature. "You will see every species as a potential threat. Some of you already are threats," Kate said calmly. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Guards moved closer to their leaders. Weapons were powered up. "Explain that statement," Kethmer demanded. Kate activated a holographic display. "We know about the Resistance Coalition. 17 species have joined together to discuss eliminating humanity. They see us as a threat that must be destroyed." "That is defensive action," protested one of the coalition members. "You are the aggressors." "We have not attacked anyone," Kate pointed out. "We came here peacefully asking to join your council. You responded by planning our destruction. Because you are too dangerous to exist. And that," Kate said with a cold smile, "is exactly the kind of thinking that gets species eliminated." The silence that followed was thick with tension. Everyone understood the implication. The Resistance Coalition had just proven Kate's point about preemptive elimination. Dr. Carl Bennett stepped forward. "May I explain something about human psychology?" "Speak," Kethmer said. "Humans have a concept called the security dilemma," Carl said. "When one group tries to make itself safer, it often makes other groups feel less safe. Those other groups then take actions to protect themselves, which makes the first group feel threatened." "What is your point?" asked the Vorthic delegate. "Your fear of humans is creating the exact situation you wanted to avoid," Carl explained. "By forming a coalition against us, you have made us see you as a threat." "We are already a threat in your eyes," accused the slug-like creature. "No," Kate said. "You were irrelevant." "There is a big difference." The word irrelevant seemed to hit the aliens harder than any insult could have. They realized that humans had not even considered them important enough to be threats. "But now you do see us as threats?" asked Zarathul. "Some of you," Kate confirmed. "The ones who want to eliminate us have made themselves our enemies. The ones who want to coexist remain irrelevant. And the ones who want to coexist?" asked a small, furry creature. "They have the potential to become allies," Kate said. "Humans are very loyal to our allies." "What does human loyalty look like?" Kethmer asked. "We protect our allies as fiercely as we destroy our enemies," Kate explained. "When something threatens our friends, we eliminate the threat." Lisa could see that some of the aliens were beginning to understand the opportunity this represented. Humans were not just a threat. They were also a weapon that could be pointed at other threats. "You are offering to be our protectors?" asked the tree-like alien. "We are offering to be your partners," Kate corrected. "Partners protect each other." "But what if we cannot agree on what constitutes a threat?" asked the Kelani representative. "Then we discuss it," Kate said. "Humans are not mindless killers. We can be reasoned with. We can be negotiated with. We can even be convinced to change our minds. But if we cannot reach agreement, then we agree to disagree and go our separate ways," Kate said. "We do not eliminate people for having different opinions. We eliminate them for taking hostile actions." A new voice spoke up. It belonged to an alien that looked like a walking plant. "What about the species that have already joined the Resistance Coalition? Are they doomed?" Kate considered this carefully. "That depends on what they do next. If they dissolve the coalition and choose peaceful coexistence, we can forgive past hostility. If they continue to plot against us, then yes, they are doomed." "You would eliminate 17 species?" "If necessary," Kate said without hesitation. "We have eliminated larger threats before. The chamber fell silent again. The aliens were processing the reality of their situation. They had created a crisis by trying to prevent one. "There is another option," Lisa said, speaking for the first time in the meeting. "What option?" Kethmer asked. "Use us," Lisa said simply. "Every species here has problems they cannot solve alone. Pirates, rogue artificial. Intelligences, ancient weapon systems, invasive species from dead worlds. Problems that require elimination rather than accommodation." "You want to be our exterminators?" asked the mantis-like creature. "We want to be your solution to unsolvable problems," Lisa corrected, "in exchange for membership in the Council and access to galactic trade and technology." Kate nodded approvingly. "Humans are very good at solving problems that require decisive action. We can eliminate threats that your defensive evolutionary strategies cannot handle. And in return, we get to be part of the galactic community," Lisa said. "We get to explore, trade, and learn alongside other species. We get to be builders instead of just destroyers. But what guarantee do we have that you will not turn on?" "You? The same guarantee you have from any other species," Kate said. "None. But we have no reason to turn on allies who are useful to us." "Useful how?" "You have technologies we want. You have knowledge we need. You have resources we can trade for. You have perspectives we can learn from." Kate paused. "And you have problems we can solve." The aliens began talking among themselves again, but this time the tone was different. They were not just discussing the threat humans represented. They were discussing the opportunities. "We need to vote," Kethmer announced. "All species must decide whether to accept humanity as a member of the Galactic Council." "What about the Resistance Coalition?" asked one of its members. "They can vote too," Kate said. "But they should remember that their vote will determine whether we see them as friends or enemies going forward." The threat was clear. The coalition members could either accept humanity or face the consequences of continued hostility. "The vote will be held tomorrow," Kethmer announced. "All species have until then to make their decision." As the aliens filed out, Lisa noticed that many of them were looking at the humans with new eyes. Not just fear, but calculation. They were beginning to see humans as a tool that could be used rather than just a threat to be feared. "Do you think they will accept us?" Lisa asked Kate. "They will," Kate said confidently, "because the alternative is worse for them than the risks of acceptance." "And if they do not?" Kate smiled grimly. "Then we will remind them why humans call their predators previous versions of themselves." The next 24 hours would determine the future of human-alien relations, and possibly the future of the galaxy itself. The morning of the vote arrived with unusual quiet on the space station. Lisa Kane had barely slept, but she felt strangely calm. After days of uncertainty, they would finally know humanity's fate in the galaxy. The great council chamber was packed with more aliens than Lisa had ever seen. Representatives from every known species had come to witness this historic moment. The air hummed with tension and anticipation. Kate Sullivan stood with her human team at the center of the chamber. She looked confident and ready, but Lisa could see the careful alertness in her eyes. Kate was prepared for any outcome. Kethmer rose to address the assembly. The crystal being's light patterns showed formal authority mixed with underlying stress. The vote will now begin. Each species will announce their decision regarding human membership in the Galactic Council. The voting process was slow and formal. Each species had to stand and announce their choice publicly. Lisa kept count as the votes were cast. The first few species voted to accept humanity. They were smaller civilizations that had been attacked by pirates or other threats. They saw humans as potential protectors. Then came the first rejection. The Nexari, a species of energy beings, declared that humans were too dangerous to be allowed into the galaxy. Several other species followed with similar votes. The Resistance Coalition members voted as a bloc, all rejecting human membership. But Lisa noticed that their votes lacked the passionate hatred she had expected. They sounded more like beings who knew they were making a mistake, but felt they had no choice. As the voting continued, a pattern emerged. Species that had unsolvable problems tended to vote for acceptance. Those that felt secure in their current situation voted for rejection. The Kelani voted to accept humans. Their homeworld was being invaded by metal-eating parasites from a dead system, and their defensive nature could not solve the problem. The Zephyrians voted to reject humans. Their crystal bodies made them feel safe from most threats, and they saw no benefit in accepting dangerous allies. The Vorthix surprised everyone by voting for acceptance. Dr. Yultar stood to explain their reasoning. We have seen what humans can do. They defeated our greatest predator in minutes. If such creatures exist in the galaxy, we want them as friends, not enemies. As the votes piled up, Lisa realized the count was going to be very close. Too close for comfort. When the last species had voted, Kethmer began the formal count. 31 species vote to accept human membership. 29 species vote to reject it. A narrow victory, but still a victory. Lisa felt relief wash over her, but Kate remained tense. However, Kethmer continued, the Resistance Coalition has made a formal declaration. The chamber fell silent. This was not part of the normal voting process. A representative of the coalition stood up. It was the mantis-like creature that had been most vocal in opposing humans. The 17 species of the Resistance Coalition reject this vote. We will not recognize human membership. We will not trade with humans. We will not allow humans in our territory. And, Kate asked calmly, we call upon all species to reconsider. Humans are a threat to the natural order of the galaxy. They must be contained or eliminated. Kate's expression did not change, but Lisa could feel the temperature in the room seem to drop. I see. And how do you plan to enforce this containment? We will defend ourselves against human expansion. We will protect other species from human influence. We will do whatever is necessary. Kate nodded slowly. Thank you for clarifying your position. She turned to address the entire assembly. Let me clarify our position as well. The species that voted to accept us are now under human protection. Any attack on them will be considered an attack on humanity. You cannot protect 31 species across the galaxy, the coalition representative declared. Watch us, Kate said simply. Kethmer tried to restore order. Perhaps we can find a compromise. The galaxy is large enough for all species to coexist without conflict. Some species do not want coexistence, Kate pointed out. They want elimination. This makes compromise impossible. What are you saying? Asked Zarathul, who had voted for acceptance. I am saying that the Resistance Coalition has declared war on humanity and our allies, Kate said. We accept their declaration. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some aliens were shouting in fear, others in anger. Guards moved to protect their leaders. Weapons were powered up throughout the room, but Kate remained calm in the center of the storm. She activated a communication device and spoke a single word: execute. Across the galaxy, human ships that had been hiding in empty space suddenly appeared near the homeworlds of the Resistance Coalition species. They had been positioned there days ago, waiting for this moment. You planned this, accused the Coalition. Representative, we prepared for this, Kate corrected. There is a difference. You are going to attack us regardless of the vote? No, Kate said. We were going to defend ourselves and our allies regardless of the vote. The Coalition chose to make yourselves our enemies. We are simply responding to that choice. Lisa watched in amazement as Kate coordinated a galaxy-wide military operation. From the council chamber, Human ships were taking control of key strategic positions, but they were not attacking planets or killing civilians. They were simply demonstrating that resistance was futile. "How many ships do you have?" asked the Vorthic delegate in wonder. "Enough," Kate said. "We have been preparing for galactic contact for longer than you realize." "But how did you know where our worlds were?" "We have been watching you for months," Kate admitted. "We study our potential enemies very carefully." The coalition representative looked around the chamber desperately. "This is exactly what we warned you about. Humans are conquerors." "We are protectors," Kate corrected. "We protect our allies and eliminate our enemies." The coalition chose which category they wanted to be in. "You are forcing us to surrender?" "We are offering you a choice," Kate said. "Dissolve the coalition, accept human membership in the council, and there will be no further action. Continue to resist, and we will do what humans always do to threats." "And what is that?" "We will eliminate you." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. The coalition species looked at each other with growing desperation. They had planned to contain humanity, but instead they had trapped themselves. "How long?" "Do we have to decide?" asked the coalition representative. "You have until I finish explaining the terms," Kate said. "First, all coalition members will publicly renounce their opposition to humanity. Second, you will compensate the species that voted for us by providing resources for mutual defense. Third, you will accept human observers on your worlds to ensure compliance. And if we refuse, then in approximately 6 hours, your military capabilities will cease to exist," Kate said matter-of-factly. "Your governments will fall. Your species will be relocated to worlds where they can live peacefully under human supervision." "You would destroy our civilizations?" "We would eliminate the threat you represent," Kate clarified. "Your people would survive, but your ability to threaten others would not." The coalition representative looked around the chamber one more time, seeking support that was not there. Even the species that had voted against humanity were staying silent. They did not want to be associated with the coalition's fate. "We accept your terms," the representative said quietly. "All 17 species?" A representative activated his communication device and spoke rapidly in his own language. One by one, the other coalition members gave their agreement. "Excellent," Kate said. "Welcome to the new galactic order." Kethmer, who had been silent during the entire confrontation, finally spoke. "What you have done here today changes everything." "Yes," Kate agreed. "It does." "How can we trust you not to turn on us next?" "Because you are useful to us," Kate said. "And because you have chosen to be our allies instead of our enemies." "But what if we stop being useful?" Kate smiled. "Then you should try very hard to remain useful." Over the following weeks, the new arrangement proved surprisingly effective. Human ships began patrolling trade routes, eliminating pirates that had plagued commerce for centuries. Human experts helped solve problems that had been considered impossible. Ancient weapon systems that had been terrorizing entire sectors were shut down within days of human investigation. The species that had voted for humanity found themselves more secure than they had been in generations. The species that had opposed humanity found themselves under close supervision but otherwise unharmed, and the galaxy learned a new lesson about the nature of predators and prey. Every species had predators that shaped their evolution, but humans had evolved beyond that relationship entirely. They had become something new in the galaxy. Not just predators, but the ultimate predators. Creatures that could eliminate any threat, solve any problem, and protect any ally. The galaxy would never be the same. And perhaps, for the first time in millions of years, it would truly be safe. Lisa Kane stood on the observation deck of the space station, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, human ships were patrolling the darkness, keeping watch over their new allies and keeping their enemies in line. Do you think we did the right thing? She asked Kate, who had joined her at the window. We did what humans always do, Kate replied. We eliminated the threats and protected our own. But now we are responsible for the safety of the entire gala.